Hi, my name is Phil Davies and I'm the CEO at FlyForm. I'm joined today by Mark Revill from ServiceNow. Mark, do you want to introduce your role?
Yeah, so I'm Mark Revill. I'm a solution consultant within ServiceNow. Been here for just over 4.5 years, and I work for the Alliance and Channels team. And so I'm with FlyForm today to be able to talk about IT operations management.
Brilliant, thanks Mark. ITOM, people talk about it a lot, and the phrase gets thrown a lot. I don't think people really realise how much is kind of made up of, how big the suite is, how much is in there. What kind of are the main components as you see them in the ITOM suite? Obviously everyone knows about discovery. What else is kind of in there that makes it up, and how do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, discovery is one of the main ones, and it's the main step usually from ITSM. So to help with ensuring that your CMDB is not only accurate but up to date, because it's an automated process that just keeps running, so hopefully it will never go out of date. I guess the extension out of that then is going into things like service mapping, which is a bit more specific around services and more in depth. And then we get into things like event management and recently, although it's been out for a while, Operation Intelligence, which is bringing metrics in, which helps the machine learning around the event management side of things as well. And then you've got other things that sort of bolt onto it. So they used to be part of the ITOM suite. So it used to be orchestration. Now obviously you've got Integration Hub as well, which are actually part of the platform, but fit in very nicely into the way operations management works. So final one we've got, of course, is cloud management, which we don't talk about a lot when we should do.
And I love it.
Yeah, we should do. Because we take the approach and sort of spin it on its head, and in the cost savings that you can get, the amount of money you're spending.
And the control you get back, isn't it, over that cloud estate?
Absolutely.
Without that visibility, even the fact that people are spinning things up, things are left on, all those kind of things, I guess, come into play.
And then making it easy for people to be able to do the provisioning as well. So taking away from people who are doing it in the individual tools themselves, and maybe their own accounts, and actually doing it within the tool, because it's so easy within cloud management to be able to do it.
And bringing in, I guess, around that is all that workflow. You know, you get the power of the platform workflows, you get approvals, orchestrations to spin it up yourselves, and
the decisions around what cloud do I use, because we're not stuck on one. We can use multiple clouds. So
that's an excellent point this day and age, isn't it? Because hybrid cloud is kind of like the in thing as well now, isn't it? With people going diversifying across the different cloud environments, and even kind of on-prem cloud, if you like, as in private clouds within their own estates as well. So lots of places to play.
That works well.
Awesome. So what do you think a typical ITOM journey looks like, Mark? So obviously we just talked about discovery being kind of the linchpin, really, the foundation that gets laid.
Most people would start with that, and
we see
probably the best way to start, because it's better together from an ITSM side of view as well. So this is where you start to leverage the power of the CMDB. And if you get that right, you get so much automation that you can get within ServiceNow, which is great. Then you get into service mapping. So service mapping is really all about individual services, getting into the configuration file, so it goes a lot deeper than discovery, although the first step really uses discovery anyway. But it gets into that level of depth where you can start to be focused on an individual service, which means you don't rely on the schedule so much, it just is potentially a process that carries on. Gets into the level of understanding things, deep version of versioning, processes that are running, all those sort of things. And because you can run it more often, you can start for it to automatically pick up changes. So if, for example, someone's done a change, and it's an unplanned change, quote unquote, then you'll pick that up potentially earlier than somebody else would. And we all know that a lot of incidents are caused by changes, but especially unplanned changes.
Especially major incidents as well.
So then you could raise that, for example, as an unplanned change or something like that, would certainly alert people that there's been a change. The other thing from service mapping, of course, and discovery, depending on the level that you want to do, is through that change process, actually highlighting that actually the change has taken place. So I wanted it to go to version 7, and it is on version 7.
Something's happened, I thought it was going to happen, I've got to tick that box and got the checks and balances.
Absolutely, and you can do that both in discovery through change, and it's actually some of the default options now for the last 3 releases. But in the service mapping side, we'll get that more in-depth side of looking at it and making sure that nothing's affecting the way that applications works.
That's awesome.
The other thing about service mapping is sticking that into the cloud as well, so understanding as your services expand and contract, that you'll be able to map that, update the CMDB, understand from that perspective.
And discovery in the cloud, right? Because that was another one that people used to miss out a lot on. It's
a lot.
Even I've actually had not arguments with customers, but they've challenged and said, well, I got AWS kind of, whatever the product is, the native product.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do this as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so how is that going to give you relationships? How are you going to map an end-to-end service, all those CIs underneath them, unless you put this into both environments? Especially now with the bigger cloud push. And yes, we've seen a lot of improvements in the product in those spaces as well.
Absolutely, and it's all using, a lot of it's using the API, which you get with Discovery. So it's there, why not use it if you've got Discovery?
Excellent. So going ahead then, so people kind of doing Discovery and then service mapping. For us, we kind of see then event management coming in. Is that the typical kind of play where?
That's what I would go for. I mean, event management can be useful standalone.
Yeah, we've seen that as well, actually. Yeah.
But you start tying it into service mapping. And it's always better using the true service mapping rather than creating manual service maps, which obviously you can do. But then you've got that overlay of alerts on top of infrastructure. Typical ServiceNow, we see things from a business service point of view, an application service view. So that's your first look. And as you'll see in the current version, we see that through the event dashboard that we've seen for a number of years. That's going to change into the operator dashboard, which is on sort of on a release at the moment, but you have to get permission to use it. Whereas what you'll see in Orlando is that will be the operator workspace. So that will be a new vision, a new GUI that people will be able to see from that side of things as well, which is great.
That's exciting,
subject to obviously safe harbour as always. But from that perspective, you then overlay the events, you then get the service map view. You can understand from a business service what CI is causing problems. That CI, how many business services is that impacting? That's where the value comes in. But we want to be able to automate these things. We've been able to do this within service mapping and event management for years. But what we can start to do also is bring in operation intelligence, which is metrics from all these servers. Use that to be able to enhance machine learning. Machine learning will then start to look at things like trending. So I've seen this before, it looked like that, we had these events, the metrics are the same. I can anticipate then that this might cause a failure. So then not only are you looking at basically being proactive alerts, rather than reactive alerts, which most alerts are in this world, but then you're also being able to look at potentially what the impact is, what the root cause analysis is, and how confident we are about the root cause analysis. And I guess all speeding up that mean time to resolution.
And it's this journey we've been taking people on from kind of, you just used the words that we use, which is kind of in the old days it was like reactive, and that was a good place to be. It was like stuff's happened, but I know it's happened, so I'm going to do stuff. And then we moved into this proactive world now where we're actually seeing stuff ideally before the customer's called, or we're on top of it. And now with the latest stuff with the AI, we're kind of going into this predictive world where the machine is kind of knowing before the bad things have happened that, hey guys, last time these 3 events kind of took place, you had this outage, 2 of them have happened, something, there's an 80% chance this is going to happen again, and then start to solve those outages before they even happen. I mean, that's when you see for me the big examples in the real world, like the banks and the airlines and the mobile phone companies having these catastrophic outages. And for me, I don't know about you, but I sit at home all the time because of the industry we work in. I'm just sitting there thinking, service mapping, operation intelligence, you can do things that can solve these challenges. You guys are all over the news, suffering hundreds of millions in errors. Let's get to the bottom of it and put something in place to stop it again, right?
I mean, we've got the technology now to start being better at doing it. We talked about it for years. Now we can actually start being better at doing it, and then we can give customers the confidence that we can be more reactive when we need to be, but actually the preemptive side of things means that we'll move away from that scenario of fixing things when they fail. We'll start fixing things before they fail.
And I think tying that into that whole thing about orchestration then, isn't it, is you've got these events coming in, the system's predicting something's going to happen. Can orchestration go off then and execute a job, flush a file, clear a log, whatever, to actually prevent that even occurring in the first place?
Absolutely, and that's one of the key things. There is always one side on that, which is the downside, is the operator having the confidence to do it. But absolutely you can do these things, and the whole point of that is you basically, even if you have a problem, you're keeping the lights on, the service is still running, the customer's still happy. In the background you've raised a ticket, you've got maybe a developer looking at something that's gone wrong, or you're rolling back a change that went wrong, but the lights never went down, they never see the outage.
And a couple of clicks, and also then you've tied it back into ITSM where the change record has been raised, everyone's been alerted, you've got major incident management, pushing out your notifications and doing all your other stuff, and you've just got this wonderful, the better together message is stronger than ever now, I guess,
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
And that's not just really on internal IT, no reason why that can also not expand into customer service as well.
Yes, a really good example actually. CSM, in the old days we had to kind of hack ITSM, to do the customer-facing stuff before CSM existed. And it was very often was the case we would use that functionality for the external stuff because those are the guys who need to typically know more. They're your external customers. They're funding, paying you the revenue that you spend to look after their service.
Yeah.
Getting that stuff out to those guys as quick as possible is kind of key, right?
It is, absolutely. And when you're starting to use things like IoT and areas like that, there's no reason why you can't be more proactive on that side.
And what does IoT look like in terms of ITOM? Is there stuff on the roadmap for maybe ingesting IoT events, or is that kind of already there and happening? And how does that kind of
speaking, an event's an event, isn't it?
Yeah,
so there's no reason why you can't do it. I've no doubt you will see in the roadmap over the next 18 months or so us doing more things specifically around IoT.
Yeah, okay.
There's no reason why you can't do some of it already.
And what is the other, I don't know, whatever we can say within Safe Harbor, what does the next year, 2 years for like an ITOM look like? Is there more to come, more kind of totally new features, or is it a case of maturing what we've got and really enriching it now, do you think? Or
I'd like to say I get visibility into some of that stuff, and I don't.
Hidden away in an area of service now that nobody sees.
It is all around the automation side, the machine learning side of things, using the intelligence based on the information that we're bringing into ServiceNow.
Okay.
I think is quite key. Yeah. Where that's going to go, honestly, I don't have that level of visibility beyond the next release. So.
Awesome. So Mark, we talk a lot about IT in the cloud these days, there's a lot of focus on cloud migrations. What about the customers with the legacy environments where they've got all the old tin, even in some places they've got mainframes and all kinds of stuff going on? Do we see are there any restrictions or issues with getting to those, or is it even more benefit to them by letting the technology loose in those environments?
So from a discovery point of view, you will find these items.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to get information about them. It's always good to know what's there.
Yeah, 100%.
More important, it's always good to know what's switched on, because not everybody does.
Yeah.
It depends on how old it is and things like patterns as to whether the level of depth you can get into.
Yeah.
But again, the beauty about the platform is, if a pattern doesn't exist, or if a pattern isn't quite right, then you can change it, or you can write a new one. It's got a perfect engine for a consultancy to be able to provide that level.
We do a lot of those custom patterns actually. Sure.
So you can go in and do that, and then you can get more information out of those things. So if something doesn't exist, let's say it's a really old legacy system, so long as it's IP, because that's what we need to be able to do our discovery, then we can identify it, but we'll come up as unclassified if we can't find anything out about it. You then just find out more about the IP, you then create a pattern to bring out whatever the customer wants. They can then do that, you do the pattern, you do the testing, and then you'll start to populate the CMDB. So the answer is yes. Will it all work out of the box? Really depends how old it is.
Got it. And how niche it is, how customers
if it's as old as me, you might not find it.
Brilliant. Awesome. Thanks, Mark.